Welcome everybody to a look at the fourth film in the Columbia Noir #7 box set from Indicator, and it is 1956's Spin a Dark Web, but that was the US title. The UK title was also Soho Incident, so two different titles you can get this under. Not sure if it's no, it doesn't have the alternate title in on the inside. So yeah, this is directed by Vernon Sewell, whose only other film I've seen that I've actually properly enjoyed would be Strong Room, but he also did Curse of the Crimson Altar and The Blood Beast Terror, but they were a little bit underwhelming to be honest. But yeah, this is a film noir, clocking in at 76 minutes long, so it's the second shortest in the box set. Stars Faith Demergue, who was also in two of my favourite sci-fi efforts from the 1950s. She was in the two 1955 films, This Island Earth and It Came From Beneath the Sea. Also stars Lee Patterson, who I've not seen in any other film in terms of him being in a leading role, certainly not in a role as big as the role in this one. But he was in supporting roles in for The Three Worlds of Gulliver, The Good Die Young, and Chateau's Land. And finally, you got likes of Martin Benson, who again, not necessarily a leading man in a lot of films, but he was in the likes of Goldfinger, A Shot in the Dark, Gorgo, and Captain Clegg. So quite a wide variety of genres there, going from spy, comedy, monster, and horror. So yeah, a boxer and former wartime telephone engineer is lured into a murder cover-up plot by a scheming woman. So this is a well-paced, tightly focused, and urgent film noir that uses its minimal running time to the fullest with its effective cast, engaging plot, and at times mainlined European style of filmmaking when it comes to depicting the more day-to-day life of the inhabitants of London. And by that I mean that when it comes to shooting on the streets or in public areas, it doesn't feel like they've had any kind of permit to shoot there, as none of the people involved look like extras. But that also gives it some, more realistic aspects to it, where in terms of the setting and such. And you can kind of tell they're not extras because some people are trying to dodge out the way of the camera, or they're taking notice of the camera and such. Plus, also when it is on the out in the midst of London during the time, the camera work is a little bit more less refined. It's a little bit shakier, a little bit more, off the cuff, I guess you could say. So yeah, I really like that element to it. Do remind me of some kind of French films from this kind of same period. The cinematography is also on point in general, either when it is shooting on the streets or when it is in more obvious sets. There is some well executed tension. The character interactions are solid. There's some decent violence. It concludes satisfyingly enough, and I like the fact that Faith Demergue's character is essentially the one that is leading this gang. She insists on Martin Benson's character to go ahead with a murder, even though he's completely against it. But she's the one that is insisting on it. And to be honest, I think she actually kills more people in this than any single man in this. So yeah, very much a female-led antagonist in this one, which again is not always the case with these kind of films. And yeah, on the whole, I really, really enjoyed this, and it gets a 4 out of 5. It's my favourite film in this box set so far. I think it combines elements from the previous film. So obviously we have the fully British setting this time around. We're not in one country and then moving on to another one, much like The Last Man to Hang. We also have the same kind of pacing and length as that film. But then we have the cinematography of the likes of Wicked As They Come to make it look like a film noir. And then it's got the decent amount of violence like we had in A Prize of Gold as well. So, yeah, overall, really, really well done. 4 out of 5 for sure. And yeah, high definition remaster and original mono audio on this look pretty good in both respects, but again, not amazing. Could definitely have done with a bit of restoration here or there. Audio commentary with academic and film curator Eloise Ross from 2025. Then we have another BEHP interview on this release, like we have with the previous films, and that is an interview with Vernon Sewell from 1994, clocks in at 76 minutes long. And that's an archival audio recording featuring the director in conversation with Roy Fowler. And then we have original US theatrical trailer, A Test for Love from 1937. That is a 29-minute dramatized public information film about the dangers of venereal diseases, which provided an early directorial credit for Sewell. I'm sure that's might have been informative at the time, but I doubt all of that information is bang up to date. And then we've got Image Gallery, new and improved English subtitles for the deaf and hard of hearing, and this is a UK premiere on Blu-ray. I imagine this has had a release in the US, given it's got a US title on it and such. But yeah, still, as long as at least we get it now in the UK in a more readily available release. Obviously, this is an expensive release in its own right, so I'm not sure whether or not these will get single disc releases on their own, but hopefully they do, because yeah, then it means that more people can at the end of the day see this one. So yeah, overall impressed with this film. The cast essentially is what really sells it. Being a fan of Faith Domergue before, really nice to see her in a more villainous and antagonistic role rather than in the two sci-fi films I mentioned, which is a bit more doesn't really have much in the way of her own free agency in some regards, like a lot of those 50 sci-fi films. But yeah, really good to see her in a different kind of role, and she absolutely nails it along with the rest of the cast. So yeah, we've got two more to go in this release. We've got The Long Haul and Fortune is a Woman. So really looking forward to seeing those two. Hopefully they continue the really rather good run of films. Last Man to Hang is the only one I've had any major issues with, but even that still had 70 minutes out of its 75 minutes to really admire. So yeah, this box set's doing really well so far. But nonetheless, thank you for watching. If you have seen Spin a Dark Web before, I'd like to hear your thoughts on it. But thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.